It's hot outside this time of year, and if you have a keen eye, you have already noticed that the AC belt is missing on this truck. Customer brought it in complaining of the air conditioner not working. I think he actually just stated to replace the compressor. However, you know me, I always like to know why something has failed. So let's take a close look at the compressor and then see if we can figure out what has happened and why it has happened. You can tell by the looks of this clutch that it has been extremely hot. There is no clutch friction material left, and it is actually welded. This thing is locked up solid. So let's figure out why this has happened. So compressors can fail for a host of many reasons. It could be contamination in the system due to a previous failure. It can be through faulty parts. It can be short cycling due to maybe a wiring failure or an imminent wiring failure. Or it can be due to a system malfunction, like a blockage in the system or an evaporator core freezing up, which leads me to the very easiest thing to check whenever we have a catastrophic compressor failure is a low pressure switch. I find low pressure switches on these 379s to fail because we're getting some mileage and some age on them. The pigtails especially, because people always go to them and either jump them with a wire or whatever the case may be in order to run some diagnostics, or in this case, let me show you what we found. This right here is a low pressure switch and it was not plugged in. This is the plug that goes into that. Some driver has hot wired this in order to make his AC run, which is definitely not a good idea because that switch is in the circuit to prevent damage to the compressor in the event of the low pressure side dropping below a threshold, usually 25 to 35 psi, depending on the switch. Here's our compressor that's locked up. We have removed the back cover off, getting rid of the back plate, and you can see that this piston right here, there's a swash plate on the back side of this, and this one simply has pulled down too far and it missed the hole coming back in. For what we're fixing to do, it's important to note that we've gutted the expansion valve in the bunk, which are these pieces right here, and that expansion valve has been reinstalled. We've also removed the orifice tube out of the system and reassembled the lines as well. So what we have here is our AC machine hooked up into the system. The restrictions are removed, and that's why we're showing you the guts out of the TXV in the bunk and the orifice tube removed out of the line going into the evaporator on the cab. It is important to note that I flushed the bunk and the front AC system separately. You cannot do them both while everything's still hooked up because that system is essentially plumbed in parallel and it would not effectively flush one side or the other. So that's why we blocked them off, the front of the cab versus the bunk separately. What we've got right now, TJ's got this plumbed in. We are going to backfeed the evaporator or where the accumulator goes onto the line. It will go through the evaporator, it will come out through the condenser and then back into the machine. So let's watch the clean fluid go in and all the trash come out. So we're actually back flushing this. Our clean fluid is going into the suction side and it will pressurize all of that and all the trash will come out of our what would be the high pressure side coming out of the compressor. Ooh. So you can see that actually cleans up pretty quick, and what that's doing, that's flushing all of the contamination and the old oil out of that system. We're going to let this run for a minute and then we will flush all of our solvent out of the system. We will blow it dry with this machine and compressed air. And then whenever we assemble it with all new parts, we'll pull a vacuum on it for like an hour.